Thursday evening, 7:15 in the PM. Got back into Vegas a couple days ago on Tuesday. Last time you guys saw me was when I was in Barcelona, Spain. I was there for a poker event, as you guys know. But on my last day there, I really wanted to take some time and just soak up some of the beautiful city of Barcelona. It started, like all the other days in Barcelona did, with me not being able to figure out the elevator button. I've been here for 3 days and I can't figure out how to use this elevator button thing. Push it and nothing happens. There's supposed to be, inside the elevator, there's a key card thing. You hold the key up to it and it allows you to push the floor. Here there's nothing. There's just these buttons that don't work. So I had to take the stairs. So it's stairs again. The plan for that day was pretty simple. The plan for that day was to find some proper Spanish food. That and some proper Spanish drink. And I'm doing it with somebody who's more knowledgeable about the situation than I am. I put the word out to people that live here and got a word back from someone who is a vlog watcher. I'm going to go meet him at a restaurant that he recommended. This is the destination, El Vaso de Oro. Apparently it's a good one. So now I just need to find a cab. That means taxi in Spanish. Hola. El Vaso de Oro restaurante. Eventually I found it. We found it. Vaso de Oro. Now we just need to find the door. Is this the door? Hey, greetings.
Greetings, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, welcome.
Thanks for grabbing the spot.
Not at all.
And that's where I met Serkan. I found my, I don't know if tour guide is the right word, but the man, the expert.
I would hardly call it a tour guide.
Well, you're certainly the expert of the evening. So Serkan, am I pronouncing that right? Serkan?
That's pretty good, yeah. Hi everyone.
YouTube, Serkan.
I'm not really a guide, I'm just feeding him beer.
That's perfect. It sounds like I found the right man for the job. Serkan is from Istanbul originally, spent some time in Toronto. Now he lives in Barcelona. He's in the tech industry, mobile apps, lives there with his girlfriend. Did I mention he watches the vlog? Serkan knew all the right things to order. Turns out that restaurant made its own beer, so we had several of those. Cheers.
Salud.
And then from there, it was just tapas on top of tapas. Just really cool restaurant. Don't know what the occupancy is, but it's not very high. The restaurant was in the Barceloneta neighborhood, fairly close to where the casino is. After that restaurant, it was time for some cocktails. Moving on to a cocktail spot. So we spilled out of that neighborhood into the Elborn district. And into a speakeasy style joint hidden inside of a pastrami shop. So I not only wanted to have a local take me to one or two of his favorite spots around town, but I also wanted to have a local give me his thoughts on the local poker scene there in Barcelona. So I asked Serkan a question.
Question is, how much do you enjoy playing poker in this exact city and this exact poker venue?
Well, my poker experience before this was basically underground poker clubs in Turkey, right? So it's not the same, where the games are much softer, much like bigger, and you have so many more whales. But then, like in a casino setting, I mean, I love this city. It's a beautiful city. The poker scene is saturated, more saturated than I expected. So that's the problem there. But that being said, I love the game. I mean, I love playing poker. I love being outwitted, and I love improving my game because I have been outplayed in this hand or that, because that teaches me something. I love to find players that are at my level, above my level, and not just like a table of fish, because I don't play this game to win. I mean, everybody plays poker to win, but I don't play this game with the sole intention of winning money. I play to be better at the game. And I mean, as far as that's concerned, I think Barcelona is a really good place. But I'm glad I'm not doing this full time here.
It's super different from myself. So 9 out of 10 times, I'm obviously going to be playing to make money. That's what I'm at the poker table to do. Trying to make a living here, trying to pay the bills. It's my job. I'm trying to grind it out. Occasionally, I might have a couple beers at the table. I'll enjoy myself time to time, but I'm there to make some money. I guess I just found it a little bit refreshing to have found a poker player who is just 100% in love with the game. Of course, he wants to win money as well, but he's just super honest about it. He's not always going to be winning the money, and he's completely fine with that. Happy to be outwitted, to use his own words, and just loves the game. Anyway, then it was time for the cocktails.
You need to explain that again real quick.
So this is one of my favorite cocktails in this place. It's a bourbon-based cocktail, chocolate on the mouthpiece, cotton candy.
So it's quiet here now. After that, it was basically just us stumbling around the Gothic Quarter, which is just a maze of all these tiny, narrow streets. Dotted with beautiful architecture. I mean, that's pretty cool, but have you seen the Excalibur in Las Vegas? I don't understand what you're laughing at. It's a pretty nice property.
I agree. I agree. It's a kind of a different ball game, but
we're talking medieval times here. Sword in the stone.
Where the King Arthur.
Yes. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page now. We went to a jazz/funk bar. We went to a bar that looked like a cave where the barman doubled as a magician.
Anyway, okay, I'm gonna put 1, do it in my hand. Okay, one in the pocket. So how many have I got in my hand?
2.
Actually, okay, I'll do it again. These are actually trick cards. I bought them at the magic shop, and you can make this disappear later. You do the double show and then you appear. If you want to take it one step beyond that, you make it vanish. You do the double show, okay? Wow.
4 or 5 cocktails or so later, and the recording.
Yeah, very nice.
And I can totally believe it because if you look at the fruits of the labors.
The recording just kind of meandered off into nothingness, but pretty much got what I wanted. Got the experience I was looking for. Thanks, Serkan, for the Barcelona expertise. Now we're back in Vegas. All right, right back into it here in Las Vegas, the Bellagio, Las Vegas. Hopping in the 510, 1500 max, in for 1500. One announcement though, brand new chairs in the poker room. That's right, guys, get excited. Comfort level is on the rise here at the Bellagio. Brand new chairs, just in time for the World Series of Poker. All right, hopping in there, let's do it. Wrapping up the session, we managed to have a short one again. We might be getting kind of good at having a short session when we set out to have a short session. I mean, I didn't mention it before, but I was planning on having a short session. 3 hours and like 15 minutes. Hey.
All right, keys right in the center.
Thanks so much. All right, couple stops here. First one, got to get some gas. It's a party at Jay's Market here. This gas station is going off right now. All right, next stop is a local favorite. Last time we did this sort of a thing, we ended up on the Strip in a semi-fancy joint, Cosmopolitan. This time we're going off Strip. Ready? Let's go. All right, guys, as mentioned, local favorite, Herbs and Rye. This is on West Sahara, 4 or 5 blocks west of the Strip. Definitely up there on the best cocktails in town list. Let's go. By the way, I think there's a happy hour at midnight, and it just so happens to be, what do you know? All right, guys, so it was just a little bit too noisy in there. It was just not gonna work to go over some hands, but we need to go over some hands. I think we can do it pretty quickly though, because I think for the most part they were pretty straightforward, but gotta finish the story, right? So let's jump into some hands here real quick. So in the first interesting one, I open up Ace King of Spades to 30, and we get 3 calls. 4 ways to a flop of Ace 10 10 Rainbow. The blinds check, and the board is so dry that I don't think there's much point in betting too big here. I don't think I want to check because there are some gut shots available. Definitely don't want to give any free cards, and I can still get called by aces with worse kickers. So I think it's worth a bet, but I think a small bet is perfectly fine. So I just bet $40. Only the big blind calls. So heads up to a turn card of Jack of Spades, which brings second spade and gives us a royal flush draw. So pretty good card, I think, for the most part. We are losing to Ace Jack now, and we're still losing to possible 10s. Losing to the unlikely combo of King Queen, but that seems a little bit unlikely. So it seems like we're either up against a 10 or a worse ace, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get 3 streets here. Doesn't seem like there's too much harm in letting a card come off, and I can pot control a little bit in this spot. So that's my thinking. I just decide to check back after he checked it to me. We see a river card, which is a total brick. He checks it over to me again, so now I'm pretty sure I have the best hand here. I'm gonna go for some value. It's gotta be small value though, because his most likely holding is always an ace in this spot. Maybe some sort of a queen jack type hand where he decided to peel on the flop with a gut shot. Seems pretty unlikely on a paired board, so it seems like he always has an ace, and it seems like he can only chop for the most part. So I just decided to target that weak top pair holding, put out another small bet of $60. He thinks for a little bit, and then he kind of shrugs and makes the call. We show, and he mucks. So I think my sizing is decent there. Case can always be made for betting a little bit bigger and trying to put him in a tougher spot, but always good to get some small value. This next hand, the hijack limps in, looks down at pocket kings in the cutoff. I make it 40 to go, and only the limper calls. So heads up to a flop, Ace 10 rag, not the ideal flop. Right away he leads $100. Not loving the situation, but I don't think I can just fold pocket kings right away. We obviously lose to an ace, but just gonna have to call once, I think, and see what happens on the turn. So that's what I do, toss in the call. Turn is another brick. This time he leads for $200. Just gonna have to let it go, I think. Don't think I'm gonna be looking to call down with the pocket kings. The other thing worth noting is that I've been kind of chatting with my opponent here. He's on my direct right. We've been chatting for a decent bit, and it seems like he's playing pretty friendly, playing pretty straightforward versus me. So I let it go. Sure enough, he shows me Ace 10. So good flop for him, bad flop for us. Lost a little bit there, but not too bad. In this next hand, I look down at Ace King offsuit from under the gun. Standard open to 30. There's a middle position call, and the button puts in a 3-bet. Makes it 140 to go. He's not super deep. He's only got somewhere between $800 or $900, and we cover him. So I think the plan here is to just go ahead and put in a re-raise. I don't want to just call and whiff the flop and then be in a guessing game sort of a situation versus a somewhat shallow stack. Would much rather just get it in pre-flop versus this size of a stack. See all 5 cards and avoid getting bluffed off of the best hand in somewhat of a squeeze situation. I think his range could be fairly wide here. Not super wide since I've played with him before and I don't expect him to be getting too out of line. So I decided on a 3-bet and I make it 370 to go. Middle position player folds and the button jams right away. Not much choice at this point, so I call it off. Board runs out, pretty ragged. He flips his hand over and he flips over Ace King. So a little anticlimactic here, but an all-in situation felt worthy of sharing. All right, last interesting hand here. The under the gun player opens for $30. There's 2 calls, and we're in the big blind looking down at 3-2 of spades. A couple different options here I think are on the table. Folding, I suppose, is reasonable since we have 3 high, out of position. I think a 3-bet is also a possibility, considering there is lots of money to be won with the callers. Squeeze seems reasonable. We have 3 high, so not exactly much showdown value here. Always good to win the pot with 3 high, so I think a 3-bet pre-flop makes some sense. We're also getting a fair price to call. We don't have to win the hand that often to make a pre-flop call profitable. I go ahead and make the call, getting a pretty reasonable price with a small baby suited connector. Flop comes pretty favorable for us. Flop comes 9-3 deuce with 2 hearts. I check it over to the initial raiser, who puts out a pretty big bet. It's about a pot-sized bet of $120. The other 2 players fold and it's back to us. My opponent has about $1,300 total, and we cover. On this board texture, if I put in a re-raise, I think I can have a variety of holdings here. I can definitely have some flush draws, straight draws, some sort of combo draws, as well as some stronger hands, such as this one and sets. So I think with a raise, I can stay fairly balanced. I don't over-rep my hand too much, I don't think. So I decided to put in a raise, and I make it 370 to go. My opponent doesn't think for hardly any time whatsoever and sticks it all in there. One of those spots again, not too much choice to be had at this point. Not going anywhere at bottom 2 pair. We block the bottom sets. You definitely have pocket 9s here some amount of the time. And even when he has some sort of a combo draw, we're not in that great of shape versus that type of a hand, but just too good to fold. So I toss in the call, make the snap call pretty much. Turn is a 7 of hearts, which doesn't seem like that great of a card to me because now we're beating even less of his range. River, on the other hand, seems like pretty favorable river. Offsuit 3. He is first to show because he jammed, and he shows us 6-4 of hearts for a flopped straight flush draw. Turn to flush. We were in bad shape there on the turn, but river comes through for us. We fill up. We're gonna take down a pretty decent sized pot here. A little bit of a roller coaster in that hand. A little bit of drama. Kind of a TV hand going on there, but interesting situation. Interesting that he opened up 6-4 of hearts from under the gun. Never seen this player before. Pretty loose open from under the gun. Pretty loose defend, I guess, from the big blinds, but a couple of very mediocre hands going to war here on a bit of a cooler flop. Happy to come out on top in this one. All right, guys, so pretty good session. Like I said, I only played for a little bit over 3 hours and booked a win of $1,855. Pretty pleased with that result. Game was pretty decent. Decent amount of action in the game. Things appear to be warming up a little bit. We're almost there. We are almost in the high season. The poker high season for Las Vegas. World Series is right around the corner, so looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting back in there. We'll be in the tourney mix. We'll be in the cash game mix. All the above.